All right, so we are now live in our community, Digital Marketing Practitioners, one of India's most and highly engaged communities for digital marketing. And today, it's one of the best days of our 2 years in existence because today we have none other than Nick Shackelford. If you don't know, Nick is the founder of Structured, one of the leading e-commerce marketing agencies in the world, and has managed an ad spend of whooping more than 150 million US dollars. So he's also the founder of Constant Creative, productized service in the creative area of digital marketing, and has also worked with Apple and managed their campaigns profitably as well. So, welcome, Nick. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. I know it was on a DM and you accepted it. I mean, thank you so much, and it's a pleasure for you
No,
being here.
I appreciate the care, the love, the friendship, the all the things that you guys provide. I know more and more for me at least the growing community in India and the fact that there's such a large e-commerce opportunity that's growing there. You have to give it attention. And selfishly, I'm going to learn from you because I don't know, we don't market tons there, but I know it's growing. I know we have to start spending more and more time in learning the industry, learning the market, especially as India provides so much opportunity. There's a lot of individuals that are buying things online that are a little bit different here in the States or in top seven English speaking countries. So I'm very grateful to be here, and I'm really happy for the community you built.
Thank you so much, Nick. So, Nick, I think a lot of people know you. I mean, around 95% of the whole community in digital marketing know you. But if you can introduce yourself, in terms of
Sure.
how has been the journey till now, from starting from Apple and then the association with founder, and then structured, and then constant creative. I'm a fan of everything. So if you can just kind of introduce everyone, so it'll be great.
Absolutely. So I've been at this for about 8 years, and it started with actually to the right marketing goalkeeper gloves because I was a soccer player. That's the only thing that I thought my life was going to be was kicking a ball or training people how to catch a ball because I was a goalkeeper. And I got very very fortunate and lucky because soccer in America is not like a baseball or a football or a hockey where you're making millions of dollars. It's you're making $30,000, which is obviously a lot of money for other places in the world, but for you to live in California, for you to be in this world to try and make some money, that's not that much. So what I realized was like, hey, I'm on the older side at that time. I was about 26, 27. I'm 31 now, and I was like, I have to change. I have to change my life. I don't think I'm going to get and hit the financial goals or the targets that I've set out professionally and personally that I'm going to be proud of. So I had to pivot quickly. And what I realized, what I'm really, really good at is I'm really good at building relations. I'm really, really good at convincing others to trust me and then delivering on that trust for them, which is at the end of the day, marketing, right? Like you have to
Yeah.
convince someone to take a risk or take a try with you, and then you have to provide them more than what they've compensated, right? So it's that exchange that's super important. And I learned that really early on. So I met a couple of people that are very important to my life. Her name was Alazon Fulleron and then Rachel Pwepke. These two women put me in positions to be in the room with Pepsi, to talk about creative ideas, to talk about marketing campaigns, which eventually led me to working on Apple, running their paid media. Now, the way that
Wow.
works, it's two different ways. Apple enlists an agency called MAL, Media Arts Lab, which is based in Playa Vista, Los Angeles, and it's a sole contract that they have, basically an outsourced digital team. Because remember, in 2017, 2018, paid media, Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, still pretty new. Like a lot of the bigger brands
Yeah.
were still doing TV or billboards, and Apple was one of the early movers. They were doing it was the iPhone 7, it was the iPad Pro, sorry, yeah, iPad Pro at that time, and then the iWatch. Those were the first digital campaigns that we were able to actually run on social platforms. So I'm sitting here going like, wow, I'm spending millions of dollars, and I'm like, when you knew you had a lot of money, we went into at the time you could do like the reach and frequency tool. For those of you that have been on Facebook for quite a while, you could type in as many dollars that you can spend to reach every single person in the country. So I remember we were just adjusting like zeros. We're like, okay, zero, 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 zero. Okay, cool. We know we can hit every single person in the United States and Canada 2 times for this much money. Budget, hey Apple, can you pay me for this? And so we were spending so much money. I was like, holy crap, and this is a big brand. I wonder what these other brands are doing that actually need to make money on this. So it was my first view into this, and probably like a lot of people in your world, they're realizing that like you can actually make money online. You can actually spend large lumps of sum and return large lumps of sum. And I was opened up my mind until once Apple ended. That's when Fidgetly or fidget spinners started coming on, because I was like,
Yes.
man, if I'm spending this much money and it's working for a brand like Apple, like what if I found a cool product, or what if I was able to put something in front of consumers that Nick, could make money off of? And that's what happened. My partner Jake, which I'm still partnered with today on the agency and the design thing, he came. I was like, I think this is a cool idea. He founded it. He found it on Alibaba. We branded it Fidgetly because everybody was selling fidget spinners. We went Fidgetly, and it turned out
Yes.
to be one of the most successful things I've ever done, and it put me on the path which we are obviously here today. I realized I love marketing, I love spending money, I love growth, I love solving the problem online versus solving the problem in like product development or solving the product in shipping fulfillment. I don't like any of that stuff. So I was like, how do I only do what I love, which is market and work with as many brands as possible? Well, it's usually two ways. Either you have a bunch of money, which at the time we were growing it, I didn't trust myself just yet, because
Hmm.
successfully scaling a $20 fidget spinner versus selling like a real brand reputable, like a
Brand.
Theragun or like something real, right? I didn't
Makes
know if I
sense.
had the skills. So I stayed agency, and it is a recommendation I give to others. If you don't know what you want, or don't know what you're in love with, or don't have a product or an industry that you're like, wow, I'm really passionate about it, stick on the marketing side. You're going to be able to work with so many different brands and meet so many different people. And that's what took me to today, where we are Structure Social. We were Structure Social. We now are acquiring other companies to be a bigger
Mhm.
agency. So we
Mhm.
are a worldwide company. So we have people in
Yeah.
Pakistan, we have people in the Philippines, we have people in Ukraine, we have people all over the board, Mexico, Canada, United States, and we
Wow.
market e-commerce products. So overall, it's probably one of the coolest things that I can say my life has provided me, and it's really, truly, truly built anything. Because why I think you guys are all here and why the internet's so important is it doesn't discriminate. Like, it doesn't care if you speak English. It doesn't care if you know how to use a computer as well. It only cares if you're profitable or not profitable. It doesn't care. It doesn't
Makes
matter who
sense.
you are or where you are. You have internet
Makes
and
sense.
you want to learn. There's so much information like this group.
Makes sense. And for the very first time, anyone who is coming into the industry, right? I mean, every time they look up for any digital marketing knowledge, they found you on YouTube because of the founder and the knowledge you provided. So a lot of times the creative aspect is what we all are fan of yours, right? You're working with constant creative. So you're giving the creative solutions which you are an expert in to the brands which needs the most. They don't have time to create that, right? And that's what our one of the discussion point is today. After the Apple did the I will call it iOS 14 massacre. Okay, they did
Yeah.
the
Yep.
ramped up everything. So what has been your strategy post iOS 14.5 and iOS 15 as well as it has come? And understand, when you started constant creative, you also solved one of the biggest problems, which was creating content at very much scale so that they can test a lot faster. So how did you ramp up your creative process after iOS 14 came in the picture?
Yeah, this is something that we were trying to do before iOS 14, 14.5 specifically, and obviously
Yes,
15 now for
exactly.
email. We were already doing this, but people were not okay. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and a little bit of Google made it really, really easy for people that did not have to spend a lot of time to make something work. There was no
Correct.
reason.
Absolutely.
There was no. There was no reason why fidget spinner should have been a multi-million-dollar company. No reason. But Facebook had targeting. Facebook had audiences. They had all these things that we just put creative in, and it just worked. It
Hmm.
it it allowed Facebook at the time. I would say all the way up into 2020. It allowed individuals to take a not so valuable product and make a bunch of money from this, right?
Correct.
So why we built Constant? For one, I was an early entrepreneur
Hmm.
and I didn't know if we were gonna. I wanted to make sure we had enough money to pay for all of our employees, so that was like a main thing that we started. And then two, if you can, one of the hardest things is to find designers and editors that understand paid social, right? Now we're always getting better. We're onboarding new designers. We're firing old designers that don't get it or don't respond quick enough, and we're learning to train them on a consistent basis to make edits that are important. The hook, the length of it,
Yeah.
the value
Exactly.
propositions, where does the text overlay come into? How many call to actions do you guys have? Those are things that a
Yeah.
normal editor or designer doesn't think about, and they have to think about it now in the space. So we knew that
Makes
if we can
sense.
build a tool, which it's, I don't want to say it's SaaS because it's still a service.
Productized
We made
service.
it's a productized service, correct? If we
Yeah.
don't find the way to train these, because all of our agency, we use these designers and editors
Yeah.
to make edits and iterations, so that we're using our own product, so that everybody can know we're the real deal. We're creating something valuable. So if I sit here and ask, like, hey, if you could get 20 to 30 new pieces of creative based upon something that's already worked for you in the past, and you had to pay $399 or $700 to get that, would you do that? Or do you want to go have to try to find a designer, teach the designer, work with the designer, and then potentially fire them? It's going to cost you more money than the
Correct.
$399 or $799, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. You solved a big problem out there. That's for sure.
It's not perfect because we're still like today. What is today? Today is the Tuesday. So when
Yeah.
after a Monday meeting with the team, or sorry, after Tuesday morning meeting with the teams, I go through all the people that churn, right? So churn, the people that love the product and then stop it, or they stop using it for whatever reasons. And there's three main reasons why people churn. The turnaround time is more than 48 hours. The quality of the product or quality of the edit is not up to par, or they have more than enough assets. They don't need to use the product anymore. So we have a third of the people that don't use us because they don't need any more edits. Which what did iOS do?
Yes.
iOS
Yeah.
iOS reduced a lot of the spend because people couldn't trust what the platform was telling. So we're starting to see people not needing tons of assets. Yet I actually tell them that no, you need more. You need to do more assets. You need to have an understanding that like the real reason why
Absolutely.
things are going to work is edits and
Mm.
more variations. So spending the time on briefing or giving people the education on, hey, you have to,
Take-
it's content that's going to change. It's not going to be a budget, or it's not going to be a bid, or not going to be anything else.
Makes sense. Makes complete sense. I think you're right. I mean, of course, and people they forget, right? They go and make small changes. They will go and change the strategies. They duplicate the ad sets, and they think this would make my content work. But then they're not realizing the importance of that people are looking at this. You're still dealing with humans, so they would still click on the ad. They will go to the page. So you have to
Yes,
the product needs to be good. That would make it click and would make the sale. So I think you would the main.
absolutely.
Amazing. So I think we have people asking questions, and we'll just clear three of them, and we'll move forward for your BFCM strategy, and how you're preparing for that, how you're preparing your brands. And I know that you posted a status. You said, "Ki, I'm off, right, and I'm completely focusing on brands to make them successful." And I think it also fired up a lot, in us that we should take opportunities as they come. So is the first question from one of our members. They ask, "What's your thumb rule for coming up with ad creators ideas in the e-com D2C space?"
Good question. So we use this often. If you're in a niche that you are looking for information on, or what competitors are going to be doing or similar to you, Amazon reviews is the number one space that we would recommend. 5-star reviews and 1-star reviews is where I would go immediately. And then what you would use is look up a word cloud that you'd be able to like put all the reviews and start seeing the consistent words coming up into it. It's something that our skincare product brands are doing oftentimes to see like what is really happening. Is it reducing redness? Is it getting rid of oily skin? If you start seeing what real consumers are saying of your competitors that have the most ratings, you'll have a good idea of like, oh, what needs to be included in some of your content. Second, and something that it's not too many people are doing as often, change your Facebook gender. If you say I'm a male and I want to learn a little bit about what type of targeting or audiences are coming into, or what type of marketing I'm getting, change your gender to female and start seeing the type of ads that you're getting. It's gonna be a different way of understanding. Oh shoot, like this is how I'm being marketed to. This is how these other consumers are targeting.
That's great.
Th- Third is obviously Facebook ads library is one of the best tools that people can use out there. And that to me is a great way of understanding, clicking the ads that have been running for a very long period of time. And then also, if you look at the comments of these, there's a lot of people that call out comments and be like, hey, this is unbelievable. This is working, this isn't working for me. So you can get a good idea of what's happening and where it's happening in that space. But again, I would start with number one, which is Amazon reviews for competitors for sure.
Amazing. I think it makes sense. to test out and look at what people are, because you don't need to reinvent the wheel. If you think that something is working fine, then you can just reinvent it for yourself and make it customized to your brand, your messaging, and I think it would work. You get the relevant clicks. Amazing. Thanks so much, Nick. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, okay, just a quick question. What are some best practices when it comes to creative testing, especially when e-com brands have a huge length and depth in their inventory?
Okay, so this is the might have to have, I'll try to answer it multiple different ways because I'm not sure if this is specifically about a single product or multi-SKU store. So creative testing for us, we used to heavily leverage dynamic creative testing. Why we don't do it as much is because you aren't getting full metrics back on add to carts, initiate checkouts. So I understand that. I totally grasp that. What we're doing is we're doing simplified account structures. So if I have 3 products, campaign, product 1, 3 different ad sets, it would be a broad, it'd be an interest stack. That interest stack being, for instance, mother, housewife, mother of XYZ children. So a most consistent stack of interests that you believe in, and then lookalike audiences off of video views or engagers. Basically, platform audiences that Facebook can create for you have been performing better than our overall like lookalikes of exported audiences. There's I don't know what it is, but this is what we found as of October 26th, 11:18 a.m. So it's like the most recent stuff we're doing. And so those 3. So it's that product, those 3 broken out audiences, and then the creative that we're doing, always an image, a video, and that video is not 9:16. It's going to be the 4:5 format. So it is fitting and specifically focused for mobile device. And the last one is going to be an instant experience. So you have to think about these 3 types of creatives.
Yeah.
It is an image always. It is that format of, and the 4:5 is always going to be a video. I don't recommend doing an image in this because we do want to see how's that audience going to resonate. Should we do a video? Should we do an image? And that instant experience is something that Facebook likes because it's going to stay on their platform. And that's that initial structure that we're launching with. Okay. Now, that can be for a single product. And if it's a single product, that's going to be the hook or the angle or the specific thing you're trying to convey. Each individual campaign is speaking to that specific angle. Now that could get very lengthy if you're like, oh, I have so many different angles and ideas. Just stair step it into it. If you have 3 angles, that first one depending on budget. I apologize, and this is CBO, so we want Facebook to allocate the budget across whichever audiences that they're choosing, because your creative is going to stay the same. So you're not really going to get too different of performance, or you're not going to get too different of changes on the ad side. It'll still be that image is experience in the 4:5 video. Audiences are going to be where like you're going to see a lot of the change there.
Amazing. I think it's a really, really good strategy. And if you really implement it, I think whosoever asked the question, you're going to get good results, because it's coming from someone who has run it and has experience in, runs it millions of dollars every single month. So you have the data ready with you right now. You just need to go and implement. Okay. Thanks a lot, Nick. Okay. It's a very customized question. Hey, Nick, I'm running a campaign for an AOV of $60. AliExpress product from past 1 month using the same article method of your video. Not converting that much, still in loss. The same article is converting like hell on native ads. Any suggestions? I have a good procedure in it. Wow.
Okay, so what I would recommend you do is send me the article. I agree. Native traffic versus Facebook traffic, completely different traffic, which is interesting. If it's converting better on native, usually that traffic is worse. So it's normally be the other way. Normally be the other way around. Like Facebook is converting
absolutely.
native.
It should correct. So
I would love to see what this article looks like. If anything, if you could run the separate article and go more on images, like more on the more visually appealing. And I don't want to overspeak until I actually see what you have, because maybe you do have more images. So I don't want to like overcomplicate or do something different there. But drop it to me. I'll definitely give you a little bit of idea of like what I would change or next to test. But that's incredible. I appreciate you giving me that feedback on running the articles, because it's something I never ever thought of doing. I know affiliates do this. I know lead gen does this all the time, but I never thought about doing it for e-commerce space. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And a lot of people are fans in our group. So I would definitely have invited you, and whenever there's a question, I would definitely tag you there, so you can even check whenever it has come in. Amazing. Thank you so much, Nick, for this. Okay, So I run an email marketing agency. No thanks to Chase. We obsess about messaging. We feel the most impactful things in email are the angles on offer. What's your framework to think of angles? I know you speak about this, so I'm curious to know. Chase.
Uh, uh, Beautiful. Okay, so angles for us come around two different specific things. What is the angle of what is the consumer that I'm trying to speak to? What is that person, that woman, that man? What does their life look like right now without my product? Okay. And then the second part is like, what would their life look like potentially with my product? How much better is it going to be? And the way I'd call this is the fairy tale positioning. If everything was perfect and my product solved all of it, what is the fairy tale that you can paint for them and be overly descriptive on that front? So that angle, that initial angle, is leading them to a more happy or positive vibe, and that's the initial angle that we would position it with. Then the complete opposite end is the doomsday angle, the doomsday thing of what would your life be like if you never had my product, and how sad and how dreary would your life actually be if you didn't have my product? So you really have to push on the pain points of like, this is why your life sucks, this is why you aren't finding success, this is why you are not in a relationship, all those different types of like aggressive positionings of this. And honestly, it's not a super sexy way of going about it. It's sitting down and thinking through all the things that people are saying or claiming. And again, that comes in from the Amazon reviews, that comes in from deep Reddit threads of
Yeah.
acne, or deep Reddit threads of why people are sad and or finding success in a certain space. And it's not a sexy research phase. And there's an interesting person actually that does this. So if you look up James Van Elswyk, there might be one or two videos on YouTube about it, but he has a really
Yeah.
nice research framework. It's like building a creative process it's like building a creative research process, and he has a really good talk on it. It's under one of the geek out things for sure though.
Yeah, he's a native. He's in completed native, right? And native in affiliate
Yes.
marketing. Okay,
Yes.
amazing. I saw him with at Geek Out. I think yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
So he's at every Geek Out, I think.
He's my partner. That's why.
Yeah, correct, absolutely. He and I have seen Maur being there every single
Yeah, it's a
time.
good group. It's my great
Okay.
group.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I have a dream of attending Geek Out session in any country you host by next year, next year. Definitely want to see you guys live. That's one of the dreams which I would love to fulfill.
I can't wait.
Okay. Quite generic, maybe, but what's working best for you in e-com space? Static versus video.
So static. So it's not a generic question. It's actually something that we have statistics on. Static is working better than videos. And let's spin this into Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Like
Yeah.
it's similar to what we were doing last year. Something that we're going to follow again this year because it works so well then is communicating what the offer is and not even showing the product. It's so weird to say, but it's just like, this is 30% off, just big bold text of what the product is going to be. And it is going to be a static image, or it's going to be a static GIF it's just a video made out of the image that's just building an audience for us. So think about this, like the easiest path, no one could ever compete against this. The fastest way to a conversion is being very upfront and open exactly what's going to happen. So if you're
Makes
showing
sense.
the image and it's straight up like, here's what the offer is, the land on the page, and it's communicating the offer again, and then you can buy the product for simplicity features or reasoning why. They want the deal. The quickest way we can get to the deal, and what we're trying to find out is we don't do an automatic code. We used to do tons of automatic codes, but it called confusions because it was only applied at the cart after they put in payment processing information. So it wasn't ever there. So you want them to actually type in the promo code. And sometimes you even see people not even use the promo code, which is weird in this world. So video, I would say video works of a static image just to continue to build those audiences. And at least that's how we're approaching it for this Q4.
Okay, you're saying kind of building curiosity and making them actually quick and view like what's the product all about and then make the decision accordingly. Right.
Yeah, we're just being upfront, not even have to build tons of curiosity, but just being very open of like, this is a 40% off, this is 30%
Got
off,
it.
this is a buy one get one, whatever that offer is going to be. Like, don't sugarcoat it and try to like make it all pretty or have a video telling the story. It's just bold text,
Got it.
big letters. This is what the deal is.
Being direct, actually. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Hello, Nick. Just want to know your view over lookalike audiences. After years put in, they're dead, or they're still, they have a little bit life left right now.
I had this conversation earlier today. Right now, as of October 26th, our lookalike audiences of exported purchasers is performing worse than lookalike audiences of video viewers, likers, commenters, and followers. So basically, on platform audiences that Facebook has tons of data points on, and it's not. So the issue, right? If someone opts out of targeting and they go off the platform, and you're trying to upload a list that Facebook can't actually use for optimization, that's where a lot of the problems or issues are going to be. But if you have
Makes
an
sense.
audience of a video viewer, or if you have an audience of someone that's liked or commented or shared or follows a page, that is an on-platform audience that Facebook has information on. So this is my justification as to like why these audiences are tending to work better. And usually for me, those are re-engagement audiences. There's not remarketing because they're not site visitors. They're still on platform, so
Yeah.
they're not totally warm.
On
But
platform.
it's the most readily available audience that has the most touch points and data points in Facebook's eyes, because the consumer doesn't have to leave the platform. There's a reason why they're pushing us so heavily on using Facebook Shops or Instagram Shops,
Yeah.
because they want
Yeah.
to control the environment and provide more reporting for the consumers. Like we, as one of the larger agencies, we have good support. We're getting hundreds of thousands. I'm not kidding, hundreds of thousands of free dollars to spend on
Mm.
Facebook Shops or Instagram Shops, because they're like, I need data. And obviously,
Yeah.
Facebook just reported their most profitable quarter ever. How the fuck is this possible? When when
That's what that
when
report is so.
majority of our brands are pulling budgets back. How are you reporting the most profitable ever? Oh, maybe because the CPMs are this high. Maybe because you're trying to get other people using different platforms and different tools. It's so weird, man. So weird.
Correct. We don't know where they made the money from. I think what's happening. We never know that. And it's like, right now you saw Apple being more heavy onto personalized ads. So that's kind of a stab in the back for everyone.
It
That you're
kills
now
me.
bringing the ads. Of course. Okay. So, hey Nick, I'm noob here in ecom. My product was doing really well throughout the year, but come October 1st, this month has been poor. Is it because of dreaded Q4? Any suggestions how to tackle Q4? So,
So before this call, I looked at our overall performance. October's been very bad. So we're struggling as well. We're seeing this as well. My bet is you need to go early with your offer. You need to go pre-Black Friday, and you just need to
yeah,
push a discount and sale for the next couple of weeks, all the way to Christmas. I would reframe the sale when it comes to the holiday season, but if you can afford to do this, spend your time and effort on building an offer or product discount or whatever it is, because right now, this is what I'm telling people. Like, we just need a win. Like, I don't want to understand what's happening or how it's happening. This Q4, my whole goal is to move inventory, sell as much as I possibly can, and regroup in January and see like what I need to do for the business. That's the issue. So I feel you. Um, right now, I think there's going to be a shift. I think there's going to be a consumerism shift, of selling and buying a product. If you can frame it as like an early Black Friday, get this offer limited edition, that's the way I would have to go for the next 2.5 months.
great. And do you think is Google Shopping ads going to take over the demand generation, like what they're doing with e-commerce? Are they going in strong with that? Seeing what's happening with Facebook, because I've also seen a lot of people they're shifting to shopping ads compared to Facebook. I think it's
I
a
was
shift
wondering if
happening,
you
if I'm not wrong.
I was wondering if you're going to bring this up. You're a very smart man. We have more of our budgets coming to YouTube and coming to Google. We're having better
Yeah,
reporting. It's tracking a little bit
yeah.
cleaner. It's a little bit more
First
direct.
party data.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, like remember, Facebook's only been around for this period of time. Google's been around for all over here, so they have way more data points. They have way more. And I'm not a Google person, so I can't speak about strategies or anything
mm,
in depth. But I'll tell you this much, dude. They definitely have an easier tool to use and more insights, and gives me more confidence of shifting budget there. Now, if it's search based, like you can only drum up so much. I know programmatic a little bit on Google, you can kind of conquest a little bit, but it's still a platform that we as an agency are going harder and harder into.
makes sense. Great. So, okay, how are you dealing with inconsistencies in conversion? One day I get 50 to 60 leads, and next day I get 20 or less. I think it's happening
We're
with
not.
everyone.
Yeah, we're not. There's no way of.
Yeah.
There's no way of not. Think about this. With Facebook is losing
Mm,
so much data that they're able to use for audiences and targeting. There's no way of combating this, and this is something
yeah.
that we're all dealing with. So it's a matter
Correct.
of like limit. limiting your budget, right? Like you have to notice you have a pace of how many conversions or leads that you should be getting by a certain data point or a certain part of the day. If you're not going to hit that pace, or if you're not understanding like, hey, maybe I get more conversions back half of the day versus my morning, it's more of a defensive play. I'm going to kind of save as much money as cash as possible.
Makes sense. I think you can do a CBO surfing strategy, right? Which is there. I mean, you can decrease your budget whenever you're seeing less sales. This can, I think prevent your budget and have rules. But I think rules are not, I think, relevant right now, as a lot of people have said,
Yeah.
because the data is not right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi Nick, how to optimize the catalog ads apart from dynamic ads?
Specifically meaning, do you have multiple SKUs? If you have any more clarity on this one, I'd love to get that because I don't know which
Sure.
direction you want to take this in.
For sure. If you can be more specific, I think SRM, you can be more specific about the question. This can work. Okay. Can you share some proven product-based CRO strategy specifically for high-ticket e-com brands like furnitures, electronics, etc.?
So I don't have any off the top of my head. I have 3 brands that I would look at. I look at Ruggable,
Hmm.
Ruggable. I would look at what is it called? They're called one of our brands. Hold on. Look at realrooms.com. They have a great product page. And the last thing I would look at
I'll just write it down
Rove
so they can, kind of. It's real
Rove
rooms, right?
Concepts.
REAL.
Yep, REAL rooms. And then Rove Concepts,
Realrooms.com.
and then Rove Concepts, ROVE concepts.com. Those are all very heavily purchased and heavily led strategies in or e-com brands that are selling in the States.
Got it.
And then Ruggables is
Amazing.
there too.
I think, yeah, I mean, great. If you can just follow, I think these pages, I think that would do. Go ahead and check it out, their CRO, what they're doing, the product page, and just, yeah, customize it for your own brand. Let's see how it works. Test it out. Great. Thank you so much, Nick. Okay. How do you personally cut short your A/B testing time? As in, what hacks you use to get closer to winning ads and campaigns in record times?
So we in the A/B testing timeframe, we're actually not trying to cut down on anything because if you're going to make decision on incomplete data or the lack of data, you're only rushing on false performances or false data. So there actually is, I would advise against doing any hacks to cut down on the
Yeah.
winning time, cut down on the amount of conversions because you need at least 2x AOV spend. That's what we base it off of. And at that point, you make a judgment. Do I continue to spend because I didn't get enough information? Or do I believe that we need to change it because they're not getting any information? So if anything, you're spending more on creative testing to have more clear data and more decision making available, but we're not using any hacks to cut this down. The only hack I would say, it's not really hack, but it's the way we're doing it, is we're going one outside of the creative testing structure that I gave you in the beginning. If you need very clear information of what's working, it's a brand new creative concept or overall idea, one ad, that's it. Let that one ad be there. You can duplicate it in terms of post ID. So you have 3 total, but it's the same exact creative. And just let no competition across other ads in that one ad set. And just be campaign, ad set, and then that one ad by itself or duplicated 2 other times to get learning on it.
Got it. So you're saying one campaign, one ad set, and one ad in that particular sequence. That's it, and nothing else,
Correct.
right? And duplicate
So
it if it's
no,
working for you.
correct. No, so no competition against it. It's just I want information on this one specific ad to see if it's worth it and
Got it.
working.
Makes sense. Amazing. Great. Thank you so much, Nick. Okay. I would request you to please let me know Facebook Edge rank algorithm and its impact on digital marketer.
Actually, I don't understand. I don't know this. I don't have that answer for you, man.
Yeah, I think you need to specify. I think what you're asking, if it's something like more technical and developer focused, I think we are not. Nick is not the right person. um, One second. Okay, Nick. So I think we have done with some questions. So, Nick, what is your strategy for BFCM? It's coming. It's hot. It's something which is a lot of marketers. It's like the Christmas for marketers, right? I mean, you're going to rack in a lot of money. Your clients are going to make a lot of money. So, what is your strategy for BFCM? I mean, are you going to put on more offers? Are you generating more leads, more emails, and then kind of pushing out your offers via that? What are you doing?
Yeah, this will be. I got to jump because I got a call at 1:45 or 11:45 on
Yes,
my side. So I'll give you my last information before I head out. So
sure. Sure.
We have three strategies that we're going to run with. The first one, because we want to make sure some of our brands have issues with shipping or development. Like if you aren't drop shipping and you're having a lot of stuff stored in house or in the States or traveling, you see the big issues with container ships and products. So what we're pushing is gift cards. And so there's a handful of apps that Shopify allows for you guys to use. I don't have one particular that I would use, but we're putting gift cards as the main thing that we're selling. So if you spend over $100, if you spend over $50, you get a $25, which is essentially just credit for your overall store, that they have to come back and use it for your space. So you're not giving up anything. You're incentivizing them to come back. And that's one thing that we're putting at the top of funnel or even remarketing. The second strategy is we're doing heavily buy one, get one. So BOGO is one of our biggest offers that we're running across the board. And that's our pre-Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. So we're trying to get rid of a lot of inventory and product. So that's been a lot of the theme across some of our brands. The easiest way to communicate this or what we're driving towards is getting them onto our SMS list. So if I don't know the legality or the stipulations that are happening in India specifically, but if you're selling in the States, attentive or via customer, you can build your own landing page that's a straight flow of collecting as many SMS numbers as possible. And then everybody has to get it. If you don't get the unique promo code or the unique offer from the SMS list, then there's no possible chance. And the best converting offers for SMS is like the deepest discount that you can afford to give, timed. So you can tell them, hey, you have 24 hours to activate this code.
Okay.
I want it to be as truthful as possible, but sometimes you might not be able to. Sometimes you might be able to extend that a little bit past 24 hours. I don't recommend being deceitful, but I would recommend them going like, hey, if you try to claim it and it didn't work, give them another option or give them another text message to say, hey, we've extended it, or you have this code for 48 hours.
Got it.
And this to me is getting them on that limited list. Like last year, something that worked so well for us was what we call locking the experience or locking the homepage. So you could only access the offer if you got a promo code that unlocked the website.
Makes sense.
So if you're able to get people onto that list, the SMS list, or even get people to put the sale that you have coming on their calendar, that they get a message from their calendar, that they get a message from the email, the reminder for them to go make that purchase and kind of time that they're going to get a limited quantity or limited product is something incredible. And there's one more that one of our brands did that like I didn't think of. This was not mine. It was genius. But you told them that the first 5 people that purchased the product or on the store, we're going to get like a special gift, whether it's a steep discount, whether it's money in the package, or if they're just going to get a free choice of whatever product they wanted. The rush of people that tried to get onto the website as soon as the offer dropped was incredible.
Oh.
Like the thing that people tried to do for no real reason, which is, again, blows my mind, is like they just wanted to be first to win something that you didn't even have to tell them what they were going to win, was crazy.
Amazing. I think these are very unique strategies a lot of people don't use, and they can basically help you out. I think BFCM is, again, it's a festival. You need to figure it out your own strategy, which a lot of people can replicate. So be a kind of a starter in the industry and take out your own strategy, which can actually work. A lot of people can kind of, okay, we're done with the last question, and then we'll make you free. What's one thing that most e-com brands are not doing, but if someone does it on their marketing end, then they will win for sure? Might be something that pisses you off. That's it.
It might be something that pisses you off to know. Oh, what is one thing that I'm not doing? Okay. Why do you keep coming back to a website or a store if there's the same thing, right? Like if you're a product that has the same exact offering, why would someone want to come back? Why would someone want to repeat purchase from you? The brands that we find that are actually sustainable, that can actually afford to pay these CPMs or the rise in costs, are the brands that are able to have limited edition colorways or a unique amount of a certain type of product or a limited edition of something else. Just a limited quantity, essentially, is what's going to get people to come back and increase the repeat purchase value of it. So when we have brands that are selling different bow ties, or different baby products, or different phone cases, or different cups, or that partnership with a local influencer, or just getting the ability to do a limited color edition to get them to come back and re-excite them, is something that I think all brands can do with a little bit of time and effort, right? Now, if you're selling a spoon and it's like, I'm not going to create a different spoon, that doesn't make sense for you to do that type of tactic. How do you build a store or a product that allows you to do different types of drops or seasonality communication that makes them interested in coming back every 30, every 60, every 90 days? What does that element look like? And the second is,
Makes sense.
why are you not building a community, right? Like, think through the person that you're trying, think through the person that you're trying to speak to or sell to. What is that community that they actually want? That Facebook group, that's something that they need more help or guidance around. Because a lot of this, like, listen, we are all, every single product in this world is a digital company. Every single store is a digital company, because you are basically selling and creating content around it. And the way that you exchange monetary value is with the physical product that you give them, right? So you're creating
Makes sense.
stories and creating content, creating an experience for them. And then for them to be like, oh, I really support you. I'm really about that. That resonates with me. Take my money to buy that physical product from you. Red Bull is an experience company, right? But
Yeah,
they distribute and sell cans because that's like the thing that they chose to sell. So for me, it's like,
absolutely.
I identify with Nike, I identify with Champion, because it's unique, it's identifiable, it's different. They always have different versions of it coming out. But I like the story and I like the lifestyle that it makes me like play on, especially
Makes
even with
sense.
Apple. Why do I need these headphones? Because I love Apple. I could have got something else way cheaper and probably even better, but I like the way that it looks and feels. So how are you creating that story and that narrative that gets someone to buy in for it?
Makes sense. All right. I think it was amazing. I think everyone loved it. Nick, we are going to get great feedback after this. Thank you so much for doing it. I'm very much grateful. And I've invited you as well to join the group. And we are kind of discussing a lot of e-commerce and BFCM strategies. And would love if you to be here. And again, thank you so much. And love from India. We are great fan. And keep creating, keep doing what you're doing right now. And we wish you
Thank
all the
you.
best for constant creative, for structured, and all the companies under that. Thank you so much once again.
All right, guys. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'll see you guys soon, I hope.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Cheers.